Hi, it's Dave here from Elysium Sophia. How are you today? Joining us on this Thursday here at our home in the UK. How are you today? If you're new to us, which some of you may be, we are Elysium Sophia, the home of well-being, of mindfulness, meditation, hypnosis, and helping you to be the best version of you through therapy that you can possibly be. We've evolved over the past 3 or 4 months now into a chat show too. So what we do now is we welcome you to our home here for you to chat about anything you want to chat about. Come and chat with us at Elysium Sophia. Elysium meaning wholeness and well-being, and Sophia named after my wonderful daughter who's working behind the camera to welcome you to our chat today. So if you're from the Philippines, as lots of our subscribers are, we say hi. How are you today? You might be from the Philippines working in Dubai or Qatar or the Middle East, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia or the United Emirates. And if you are, of course, we say hi. How are you today? Hope you're okay. You might be joining us from where our journey in Muay Thai began, in Thailand. You might be joining us from there, from China, from Asia, from Japan. And if you are, we say hi to you. And of course, Sophia's got somebody she wants to say hi to now. So, Sophia.
Hello everybody, Penny Panda here from Elysium Sophia. So first person we have is Creepy, who says, how do you guys?
Hi, Creepy,
hello,
you alright?
Creepy, thank you for joining us, how are you today? Thank you so much for joining us. Please don't forget to give this live stream a thumbs up, and how are you?
Lovely. How are you today, Creepy? We've just finished, just taken Sophia through a couple of jabs, some injections, and then jump back home to do this.
So we've also got Vegan Realist.
Hi, Vegan Realist.
So thank you for sharing.
How are you today?
We've already got... Already?
Oh, so to the...
And we've also got TCG fam, who says, hello friends.
So the two dickheads have already come, have they? Great.
So hello
Great, that
TCG
Creepy, isn't it? They've already been and put the little mitts down.
So Creepy said, I'm good buddy, thanks.
Have you seen that, Creepy?
And,
The two dickheads have been and put the thumbs down already.
Anyway.
Hope they come and say hi
yeah.
or something. But anyway, if you join, we'll speak in a second, Creepy. All right, straight away. Oh, we've got a bell. Ding, I think I've got a dislike on it. Okay, dickhead, come and talk to us. But anyway.
We didn't say that word.
We didn't. I didn't say it. I didn't say that.
We've also got 3 a.m. who says good afternoon.
3 a.m. Hi, how are you today? 3 a.m. If you're joining us today from from Europe, the final countdown, we say hi.
So yeah. Creepy said, I know that they was quicker than me, lol.
I know. They're amazing, aren't they? But
They
anyway.
got the bell on, they're ready.
Get the bell on straight in. They put the bell on. Ding ding. Round one. Come straight in and
So
put
how
2
are you
dislikes.
all today?
We haven't even spoken, and they put dislikes on. So that's great, isn't it? Thanks for that, guys.
Yeah.
We
really
love
appreciate
you
that.
too, asshole. But anyway, if you're joining us today from Scandinavia, we say hi to you. We say hi if you're from Denmark, from Sweden, from beautiful places in Stockholm. We say hi, how are you? If you're joining us from across the pond, where lots of our friends are joining us from now, from America, whether you're Joe Biden fans, whether you're Donald Trump fans, if you're joining us today from across the pond, our wonderful friends in America, we say hi to you. How are you today? And Sophia's got somebody else here now.
TCG says those are your haters.
Is what, sorry?
Those are your haters.
They are. We've got 2. I think we've got 4 in all. They can only do it once, can't they? So I think we've got 4.
Yeah.
So anyway, but straight away we've only just rung the bell and they've come.
So TCG fan said, we have them too, don't worry.
They're bad lads, aren't they? Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's nice for the nice guys are here as well. So that's fine. We've got more people that like us than don't. So that's great, isn't it? We don't care, and might have a bit of fun on the way. Makes for good viewing sometimes as well. So anyway, you might be joining us today from Friends of Sophia. You might be Kalal. You might be Jack. You might be Ethan. You might be Millie. You might be Ava. You might be Cheese. You might be Megs. And if you are, we welcome today. How are you today? How are you all today? Hope you're okay. Hope school's gone okay. We're cooking with gas. We've just got back from Sophia's jabs, and we've just come straight in to do our little session. My dog.
So Creepy said, it's funny how they support your channel, lol. Notifications on, watch time in the bag, showing interaction by thumbs down, lol.
I know, it's great, isn't it? Straight in. Boom. Straight in. Yes.
So TGC fam said, that's how you know you're getting big. They start hating jealousies
I know, it's great, isn't it? I know, it's really, really wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, hatreds. Yeah. How's life in the Philippines today, mate? Tell you what we're doing last night. I know we want to get out more. We were watching a video last night on, not a video, on YouTube about the world's most notorious prisons. And there was one in the Philippines last night. We were watching that. We thought about you, not because you were in there, but we thought about you last night. We thought about our friends in the Philippines, and it was a great program, documentary on the Filipino jail. It was very, very good. We enjoyed that. My darling.
Creepy said, well, I had notice on the money. I'm waiting from help.
Right, so you've not got it yet. It will come. It will come very, very soon now. If you just don't watch it, just don't, just put into your mind, I don't care when this money's coming. I don't care. I don't mind. I don't want it. I don't care. And then next minute, it'll be on your doorstep.
Creepy said, just waiting on receiving it now, then I can book my flight.
Yep.
And TCG fan, be sure to join our Pagna program Saturday at 8 p.m. East. Make more friends, lol.
Can you remember? Yeah, can you remember that for us, my
I
darling?
will actually.
Saying that Sophia will come and Bob and say hi on that. So yeah, looking forward to that as well.
TCG fan said, got to run, heading out shopping.
Going out shopping. Oh, well, thanks for bumming in, Creepy. Anyway, we'll let you know. You might be able to.
TCG fan.
TCG, not Creepy.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thanks for joining in today, mate.
Yeah.
And obviously, you might want to watch it back because it could get through to you later. We just don't know who's going to turn up, you know.
We've also got Jack who says, hello, can't stay, just saying hi.
Oh, hi, Jack. How are you? Are you okay? How's school been today, okay? Nice that you're passing through. Hope you're okay, mate.
And then Creepy just said, I don't know because it's loading.
I don't know, it's loading, is it?
Plus, I'll get to... Hang on a minute, I can't read that.
I don't know, something's happening. Where are we?
Yeah. Plus, I'll get to help for when I land also, yeah.
Who's that, madam?
Creepy.
Yeah.
We've also got Jamie Gibson, who's actually from the other side, but I can't remember what she said she was called.
Okay.
I know you're from the other side.
You're from the other side here. Hi, how are you today?
Creepy
Are you
said
okay?
it'd be a bit hard for me to go shopping at 12 at night, lol.
No, yeah, stupid. I just, I just had a brain dome then, just thinking what time it was. Yeah, it's really weird when we do this because clearly we presume we're coming towards the end of our day, but just tea time-ish now. Our friends in America that are just joining us, they've just woken up. Friends like yourself, you're just going, well, not going to bed because you don't go to bed, do you? Like some kind of vampire, stay up all night. But, it's just really weird trying to, accommodate different nationalities and things. But it's great. It's so good not knowing what time it is. Yep,
So, TCG fam said, if you could connect to my daughter GeForce Journey, please. Yes, we will.
I'm sure. Once you've said this, Sophia behind the camera will get straight onto it.
I've just realised who it was.
She knows what she's doing.
I'm using my mum's account, lol.
Oh,
it's, not Jailer or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So TCG from said she's just starting her channel. Well, I'll check it out right now.
Yeah, check it out.
Said I am pale white for a reason the sun burns, lol.
You do more?
I'm pale white for a reason the sun burns, lol.
Just a little bit, yeah. Just a little bit. It's so funny though. Just we never know what time people are coming in. When they do come in. The other day we were chatting on the other platform with our friends in America. And of course, we're sort of like, not flagging, but sort of, we were chatting to them at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock our time, which was obviously 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. They were just starting their day, and we're just sort of like finishing ours. But it's so great. Actually, it feels really good and privileged to be speaking to people from all over the world. It's great.
Thank you for dropping the link. I will check it out right now.
Of course we will.
Yeah.
Check it out. And so, we were talking yesterday, not yesterday, the day before, about COVID and about different countries and, coolio. About where we are, where we're up to, and the vaccinations. Can you remember, my darling, how many did they say? That's yummy, doesn't it? A banquet or something. How many we've actually got vaccinated now? Because my parents, Sophia's grandparents, hopefully next week on their second jab, which is great. Because it's really funny in the UK in the nicest possible way, because all the old dears now that have had one jab or even two are now starting to come out. Captain Invincible.
So Creepy said, I've been reading about Prince Harry and Piers.
Oh wow, yeah. Sorry, of course we can.
Quite good morning, Britain, due to it, lol. What's going on?
Oh wow.
And also 3 a.m. said, today I have built the courage and decided to come out as gay. I've suffered past few months, but I'm happy I can now be me.
So now you can come out.
Yeah.
What's that, my darling?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Come out what? You see, coming out on this channel means something different on the other side.
Today I have built the courage and decided to come out as gay.
Oh, I see. Obviously, that's fine. Brilliant.
But
Good
I'm
on you, mate.
happy to now be me.
Brilliant, well done, because we've got a lot of friends on the other channel that we're on. That it's all about the rainbow world, up above the streets and houses, and we have so many friends on there that are gay, straight, lesbian, whatever, black, white, and we embrace everyone on our channel. So great. First of all, well done, mate. Good on you. You are who you are. Everybody is unique. We're all unique, and that's what we talk about here on our channel. Everybody's unique. Everybody's got the right to be who they are, and if you have the strength to come out and be who you are, stand. I am what I am. I am what I am. I am my own special creation. Brilliant. Good on you, mate. Everybody that's you are what you are, and nobody has the right to tell us who we are. You gotta fight for your right to party.
So we got Broner again, who said lol.
Brono.
Broner, who came last time.
Okay, hi Broner. Are you okay?
So Creepy said, oh, here he is, yeah. I haven't given him a jacket.
No, okay. No, but anyway, that's it might play friendly today, might play nicely. You never know, do you? I mean, it's a nice place to be. We don't ask people to come. If they want to come, they're welcome. But if people want to come and join the chat, then they're always welcome. Creepy. We were talking about our Prince Harry, weren't we? We were talking about the interview that he did with the Oprah Winfrey and the great Meghan. Yeah, it was quite a spectacle, wasn't it? Sophia?
So Bruno said, hi, I'm good. Hope you both good.
We are, thank you. We're cool. We've just finished school with Sophia. And Sophia's just had a couple of injections. We've just come straight home and we've just come straight onto my YouTube channel. It's nearly, what time is it at the UK? Nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK.
Creepy said, yeah, and Piers Morgan.
Cool. It's what we're doing.
And Piers Morgan as well.
And Piers Morgan as well. Yeah, it's all kicked off. Now, you've missed bits and bobs, Creepy. And obviously we didn't see the full documentary the other night because we seem to know it already. So we kind of knew what was cooking. But I think things have been blown out of proportion. We're big Harry fans and Meghan. We love Harry and we love Meghan. And we also love the monarchy. So it's very interesting for us because obviously originally I did explain to you, didn't I think, ages ago now, there's kind of like split between Harry and Wills because obviously things were happening behind the scenes. And originally, I don't think Harry enjoyed the fact that he had to. His son Archie was going to have to bow to William's children because they're all equal, but not in the eyes of the monarchy, as it were.
So 3 a.m. said Piers Morgan and the War Cow was staged.
Yes.
He had a contract with Amazon with a new early morning to show.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. There, most of these things are staged, and I think the Piers thing just coming forward with that one. I think Piers has always, right from X Factor or Pop Idol or whatever you want to call it, the Simon Cowell connection. I think Piers will always be there to make a statement, to make more publicity. He's done it all from day one.
So Creepy just said, do you think Piers Morgan is just defending the monarch because he's knighted? But I do think he is wrong in slandering Meghan like he does.
Yeah, I think all he's done that for, mate, is publicity for himself. Piers Morgan, the only thing that Piers Morgan is interested in is Piers Morgan. Simple as that. And he always has been. And so he's going to try and be... He's like... Remember Richard Madeley? Do you remember Richard Madeley? Richard and Judy? He's just like another version of Richard Madeley. But a bit more... about him than the Richard. Remember Richard and Judy in the UK? Well, probably you were here when they were on the daytime programmes, but pretty similar to that. I think Piers is just out to make a name for himself. But the other thing that we're talking about with Meghan and with Harry and that with Archie and whatever, Sophia.
3 a.m. just said, I'm sorry, I don't believe Meghan. Let us not forget she's an actress, a very bad actress.
No, I mean, this is why we're here today. And I'm really pleased that Creepy's fetched it up because obviously I'm totally sitting on the fence on this one because obviously we are royalists. We love our royal family. We love Harry. We love the monarchy. But some things, you're right, she is an actress. I don't quite know what's gone off, but I do know that so is Oprah Winfrey. So I think between them, this staging at this particular time has hit the airways and it's done what it's supposed to have done, hasn't it?
So Creepy said, course he has. I mean, I like him as he stands his grounds a majority of what he has debates about, but this is too much now.
It is. It is. And I'm defending them, but in the same way, I'm also saying, am I not correct in saying the reason that Harry and Meghan went to live away was because they didn't like all the publicity? Yeah? So they went to live in Canada, so-called out of the way. And what do? The first time they get the first opportunity, they invite Oprah Winfrey, probably the most powerful chat show host in the US, to their home to then go public.
Creepy said, I agree 3 a.m., but she's also now a princess. Even if she's lying, Harry won't lie, and him and her have the same comments and opinions.
Yeah.
And 3 a.m. said Jeremy Kyle had already signed a contract to replace Pierce weeks ago.
Has he? Yeah, exactly. They all know what they're doing, mate, don't they? They know exactly what they're doing, and but yeah, it's a very funny one, this one, because again, I think
we've also got Dark Soul.
Dark Soul.
Who
Hi, from
has
the other
got
side.
down, but
Hi, Dark Soul, from the other side. How are you today? You're welcome. This is at home here at Elysium Sophia on YouTube. How are you today, Dark Soul? Nice to be speaking to you again. We'll see you on the other side again, hopefully. But yeah, I think with Meghan, right from the very beginning, there's been animosity there, and it's opened up a real can of worms, hasn't it, my darling?
So Creepy said it wasn't just that though. It was so thing where it went on in the royal family. I agree they went public with everything when they had a problem with it in the first place, but wasn't that just a certain few? And 3 a.m. said what other side?
Oh, we're just on. We can't mention it on here, mate. We're just on another platform that we do like an American platform that we're working with at the moment. We do lots of work on there.
And Creepy said, and don't you think the royal family have called doubt on Harry's child being half caste?
Oh my word! You see, this is the nub of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
First of all, you've got a situation where I can really see it. I don't know what you think, and this is what we're doing now. I think somebody somewhere is bound to have made an observation. They're bound to have made an observation and said, "How dark will Harry's child be?" You know, it's a natural thing, isn't it? People are going to say that. They're also going to say, "Is he going to be ginger?" Obviously, of course, he's going to be a redhead. The funniest thing is, you don't. I was hoping, in the nicest possible way, it was going to be very, very dark and ginger hair. That would have been something to talk about, because we don't see many of that, do we? So yeah, of course he was going to be a redhead with a prominent gene. Of course he was going to be slightly dark, but he's not as dark, Archie, as I thought he was going to be.
3 a.m. said Meghan and Harry don't want publicity. Meghan and Harry don't want publicity or media, but do an interview with 100 million viewers.
That's what I've just said, mate. Exactly.
And said, well, Jeremy Kyle isn't as good as people think. He has a massive lawsuit against him from a guy who went on his show who committed suicide due to false lie detector test.
Exactly, false lie detector test. You should. I remember watching Jeremy Kyle a long, long time ago. Originally, I enjoyed Jeremy Kyle. Again, I enjoyed it for the controversy. But I think Jeremy Kyle as well. I think they're all tar with the same brush. But yeah, just getting back to the Meghan business. Yeah, as I've just been saying. First of all, why go over to when you wanted to hide from all the publicity? Why then do you go and contact Oprah Winfrey and ask to do a show?
Vegan Realist just said he will be called Terry the Chocolate Orange.
Just a bit, yeah. It would have been quite interesting, that, wouldn't it? Yeah. Just be careful where you say that, mate, because clearly somebody's obviously said that in passing, in joking, and clearly that's just where we are now with lawsuits and things. It's supposed to be freedom of speech,
so
but
3 a.m. just said Harry isn't even a prince. His father is James Hewitt.
oh my word, yeah, James Hewitt, yeah. I see where you're coming from with that, yeah. What the butler saw, yeah. What the butler saw. It's very interesting, isn't it? How they're now courting a bit of publicity. Go on, my darling. I think
I'm just waiting.
I'm enjoying the two-way.
I agree they have said that, but don't you think they need to throw the truth out there? As they are the royal family, there will be a lot of conspiracy around them, so they don't have any other way to show their side of the story. So maybe they only saw that the only way.
Yeah, I think what's been said in passing, tongue in cheek, is how dark is the child going to be. I think that's the first thing that's been said, and I think that will be said anyway. I also think that then there's quite interesting idea. It depends where you stand on Meghan and her father as well, isn't it? It depends where you stand. Whether you think that Meghan's father is the bad egg, whether you think Meghan's the bad egg, or whether you think that Meghan's mum's the bad egg, because clearly you've got all three there in the mix. We know that Meghan's father is very outspoken. We know he's a typical Afrikaans, and clearly, but have you noticed? This Meghan's father has come straight to the defence, hasn't he, of the royal family, and said, "I don't believe that the royal family would make a racist comment," and he's made that straight out, hasn't he?
Creepy said, out of everything though, for Harry to give up his prince title, something has to happen.
No, I know. And I do think right at the very beginning, as I said to you, Creepy, before Christmas, I think it all started when Wills and Kate wanted, the kind of like the royal versions of the Beckhams. And I think that Harry saw through that. And I think Harry is probably one of the most genuine guys you'll ever meet. I really do.
So 3am just said, asking a mixed race couple what colour their child may be isn't racist. It's an open question.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. People are going to ask that, aren't they? They're going to ask that. They're going to say, what colour, not that it makes any difference what colour the child is, but they're going to make that. They're going to make that observation. They're going to make that inquiry, aren't they? Of course they are. And then, obviously, it depends what way you look at it, because clearly, and which way you look at it, because Will's, over the years, I've kind of like switched my thoughts on this one quite a lot. I do still like Wills, and I still do like Harry, but the more we see about Harry, the more that we realise just how genuine that he is, a genuine guy, and I think that he didn't like being in the footsteps, and I don't think he minded being in the footsteps of William, but I think then to be told in no uncertain terms by Kate that he was in their footsteps, I think that's when it hit home for Harry.
So Creepy said, let's face it, the Queen didn't like Diana, that's well known, that she didn't like her. William isn't like his mother, Harry is. So
yes.
Who says the Queen isn't behind something with what's happening to them?
Exactly. We'll never know, will we? We don't know, because there's so much spin going on there. There's so much information on there. Anybody who dares to... it's still the same as it was 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 3 years ago. Anything that's said against the monarchy is straight away, boom. So
Creepy said, she can't do anything to Harry, so who is next in line? His missus, who is just an actress. She is no one compared to the royals.
No, Meghan. Yeah, I mean, Meghan's obviously, she's in her own right in South Africa. Like you just said, she's an actress. And they seem to. I mean, oh, sorry. Yeah. They seem to. I don't know. It's going to take a very special person to comfort Harry, because Harry works at so many different levels, doesn't he? At one level, he's an interesting guy, Harry. But I do think he's a genuine guy. I do think he can go anywhere. He can mix with anybody.
No, you said
exactly. I know. So I do think that probably what's happened there is a sweeping statement's been made. I think it's been made that, what colour do you think, how dark is this child going to be? Which is a natural observation, as you pointed out, not a racist comment, and it's just been blown out of proportion. And I do wonder, again, courting a relationship with the press is very difficult, isn't it? On one hand, I think Harry wants to get away from it all, but on the other hand, I think he wants to kind of court a relationship to actually put his side forward as well, because... let's be honest, who else is going to do it for him? He's got to do it somehow, hasn't he?
So Creepy said there is conspiracy about what happened to Diana, and for Meghan to say she feared for her life, it kind of goes more towards that the royal family had something to do with Diana.
Yeah, but, hey, look, you've got to look back, haven't you? If Dodi's dad, Al-Fayed, he was so close to exploiting it all, wasn't he, a long time ago? Do you remember right at the very beginning, when the Al-Fayeds were first involved? A very, very powerful family, and it's a known fact. the institution didn't want Arabic blood in the royal family. They didn't want it. End of. And we know it's not rocket science, is it? So when Dodi came along, we still don't know to the day. We're told, aren't we? We're told that when Princess Diana died, she wasn't carrying Dodi's child. We're told that. That's what we're told. But a lot of people think differently to that.
3am said, yes, has Dodi disappeared?
Who did they? Dodi, exactly. This is it. Nobody knows, what's happening there. But the Al Fayads are a very, very powerful family. And again, as soon as this happened, then everything, all the shies hit the fan. And in Paris, we still don't know what happened on that night. We all know was it Henri Paul, the chauffeur? We know that guy was either paid or he was duped on the night. We know he's in it. We know there's so many people around. Henri Paul, I think they call him.
Creepy, you said the royals is the most secretive family in the world.
Of course it is.
Even the people who work with them, their writers, their press, everything, they don't know nothing what happens in the royal family.
No, I think
we don't know anything.
We don't know. It's a kind of and you see that on one way they keep opening the royals up to us, and some way I don't think there's any point, because I don't really see. It's almost like opening the book on the mafia, isn't it? The royals are what they are. They're untouchable. They are the royals. That's what they are. They can buy what they want. They can say what they want. And at the end of the day, they're up there to be looked up to and to be shot at. But once you start shooting, you're not going to shoot anybody.
Creepy said, I think it was so thing to do with the special forces, to be honest, to cause and hit.
It has to be.
Evacuate without a trace.
It has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be. But again, like I said to you before, I'm a big royalist. I do. I now have a very bizarre set of feelings. I can see I can see it from many perspectives. From being a royalist, which I am, but also the People's Princess, Lady Diana, was obviously one of us. Even though she was, so many in line to the throne. So yeah, I can see it from both sides. Diana was the people's princess, as we all know, and I think Harry is the people's prince. But William is the royal prince, and there is a difference. The people's prince against the royal prince that shall be prince. It's almost like the Prince and the Pauper, but in a different way. So whichever way you look at it, and it's very difficult for myself to look at this one, because obviously I'm a very big royalist. I was brought up a big royalist, but also still have that love of the royal family. But now I also have my love of what is pure and what is beautiful, which was Diana, and which I think is Harry.
Creepy said, I like the royal family, but I class Harry out of all the others as a brother, as he's just like me, you, and every other person.
Exactly. I suppose that's what I was intimating there. Harry's he's one of us, isn't he? He's definitely one of us, and that's and I think that's how he was brought up with Diana, because obviously being the people's princess, he was always there, wasn't he? He was always there with Diana. He was always there, and he was always going to be part of the institution. But at the same time, he missed us what he had, and he's not afraid to. I wouldn't see. Yeah, the difference is, isn't it? You would never see Will's cry in public, but you will see the whole side of Harry. And if something upsets Harry, he'll let us know.
Creepy said, William is how a proper prince. I wouldn't class him as a people Prince Harry. As a people, Prince Harry is as he connect to the people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just trying to say. I think you just missed a little bit there, because what I was trying to say was I think of William as being the institutional king, the institutional prince, and Harry is the people's prince. And there are two differences. So you're going to have a kind of like, you're going to have a civil war breaking out there, aren't you? Because you've got so many people. Because, and let's be honest about it, Kate. I mean, Kate's again. Exactly. Kate met Wills, and I don't know. I don't know enough about Kate Middleton, but all I do know is that I don't think. Well, I'll stick my neck out here. I don't think Harry and Kate get on, do they? Per se. And I think then Wills will jump to the defence of Kate, and I think that's what it's all started. And I think then that's where we are today. Very very sad, very sad that Meghan feels that way. But what, in the nicest possible way, did she really expect anything different? You know, did she really expect anything different? She knew Harry. She knows Harry. She knows what she was getting into, and she knows exactly what to expect. And unfortunately for Harry, he's seen it with his mum, and he ain't going to let it happen again, is he? He's not going to. He's going to do his best to not let it happen.
Said, what's going on with this? People are saying the Queen is going to be giving up the throne and handing it down next year, 2022, to Charles. Won't it be William, as Charles has married a divorced woman?
I don't know. It's all changed since Edward and Mrs. Simpson, mate. I was under the impression that was supposed to be happening. I thought the king in waiting was Wills, but it seems very strange now because people have a lot of people now over here. First of all, when Camilla arrived, nobody was going to accept Camilla, so therefore they knew that. So therefore they weren't going to accept Charles. Now a lot more people are starting to like Camilla and accept Camilla a little bit. Some great PR being done there. So now it's, as you just said, people are now thinking, will Charles be king? I didn't think he was. I thought it was going to be Will straight away.
3 said, yeah, it should be William.
Yeah, it's that's what we all think. That's what we all expect, that it's going to be William. But as you just said, Creepy, there's an intimation that something can happen in between. I think it depends. I do think it depends how long the Queen lives and how long the Queen reigns. And if Elizabeth reigns for another, 6-7 years, then of course it will be William. But I think if it was to happen now, I don't think William's ready yet. He's not there. So Charles would take over now.
So Creep said, because in the royal law, in their household, a person who has married a divorced woman, they can't take the throne.
Exactly. Edward and Mrs. Simpson kind of thing. Yeah, I understand that. But somehow, I don't know. I seem to be, there's some kind of undercurrent been working as well, hasn't there? I don't know. But the laws of about marrying divorcees, right the way through to the Duchess of Kent. It's very very strange. Even Princess Anne.
I have respect for the royalties, but in my opinion, the royal family is outdated now.
Who's that, sorry?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Well, yeah, again, this is what we like here on our chat. People expressing how they feel. Of course it's outdated. Of course, and the institution are totally outdated. It very much is outdated. But it is what it is, isn't it? It's the royal family. And it's everything that's quintessentially English. It brings in a lot of money to this country, but does it still bring in as much as it used to do? I don't know. Sophia and myself, we still have a lot of friends now on the other platform from the US. A lot of people still love the royal family. They still love to hear about the royal family. But enter Joe Biden now. I don't know. Will it change? Will it change with a Democrat view? But I don't know.
Creepy said, well, the Queen wants to pass it down. There was something that came out in the media and from Harry on an interview that the Queen is waiting to step down after 70 she has been on the throne for.
Yeah, and we all expected, we were all under the impression that she would hand down to William. But we all know that William ain't ready. He's not ready. And now, will he ever be ready? I don't know. Will I am. Will he ever be ready? I don't know. Of course he'll be ready, but ready to do what? Because at the end of the day, there are less and less power in the royal family now. We are, in effect, a government-led, and Boris, in effect, has more power as a government than what the Queen does, just to, seal these things.
So 3 a.m. said the royal family costs the taxpayers
$140
million each year, but they bring it 500 million each year to the UK.
Exactly. Yeah. So if that's still happening, obviously bringing in more than goes out, then as an institution, it will be maintained and it will be continued. But at what point, as I was just saying, if the longer the Republicans were in the US, then maybe more people will. But what I do is what, my darling. Can you? It doesn't matter. It's okay. The other thing that's always, if you just live with me on this one, I find it very, very strange. You know, a republic, is all about obviously the Republicans and about a Senate. And in America, the republics, the Republicans run the country. Okay, so get me so far. Now, the Republicans in America are more royal than the Democrats. Okay, with me again. But the Democrats are less royal than the Republicans. Just take that one in a second, creepy. I am talking sense, aren't I? You get me? So we've got, the more people who are more likely in America to vote for the monarchy would be people of the same ilk as Donald Trump and not Joe Biden. Yet these same people are the Republicans who are totally the other side of monarchists.
So Creepy said the royal family are just centerpieces for the country. They don't do nothing about the show their faces around the world and say a speech at Christmas. So I think William can handle that.
Yeah, because all he is, it's a puppet job, isn't it? It's being a very, being a puppet. In the nicest possible term, but I'm still getting my head around whether I was just trying to say, did I make sense there, creepy? Yeah, this is the whole concept of a republic. The Republicans in America, followers of Donald Trump, would be the most likely people who would vote for speaking to the Queen and that type of thing. Okay, yet the same people would be the same people who wouldn't to be run by a monarch because they are pure Republicans. It's almost like one end of the scale and the tail meeting the head, because obviously the monarchists are here and the Republicans are here as friends. But in either side of the scale, you have the Republicans at the far end and then you have the Democrats at the other, but the Democrats are less likely to be want anything to do with the royal family than the Republicans. Does that make sense?
So Creepy said, I think we should have always been run by the royal family and never the government. The government have wrecked the country, in my opinion. Yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's bonkers though, isn't it, that? Because I was thinking about it. I don't know. We were just thinking about it the other day. I was trying to explain this to Sophia. We were chatting about things and just how much it was almost like we were talking about politics and we were talking about how left wing and right wing, whichever way you're watching me on the screen at the moment. I was trying to explain, because it's great with Sophia now, because we can have we're starting to have more debates and things. And we were talking about politics, and we were saying about, extremists on one side and extremists on the other side. And we were chatting about how the far right and then the far left, and how they're so far apart, but then it's almost like a circle when they can actually meet each other. And it was really interesting conversation. Just when we're at it as well, if you're still out there, Megs, your channel, if you want to check out Megs' channel, because obviously he's been doing a lot of work on the back and some great work on his channel. So if anybody would just want to bob on and see Megs, that'd be really, really good. Okay. As we were saying earlier, just thinking the whole idea of the monarchy. Yes, it brings money in. Yes, it does bring a lot of money in. Yes, a lot of money goes the other way. But yeah, it does bring a lot of money in.
I'm just waiting for the comment. Group said, but you will always get dislikes of people. Our royal family was the most feared in the world. The US president runs a country. Other countries that have presidents and kings and queens run there.
Yeah, the republics. Yeah, the republics. It's a very bizarre area. It's a grey area, Republican. Because I get blown away. You know what blows me away more than anything? And I was trying to explain this to Sophie the other day. My darling.
3 a.m. said, thank you for welcoming me. I'll definitely catch your next live stream. Take care.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining
Namaste.
us.
Thank you for joining us. This is what we do. We air a few things, and the more people, the better that join the chat. So stay safe, and thanks for joining us. You take care.
So Creep said, country from where I'm sat, the UK's it's the government that run it, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, it's the government. Yeah, again, if we have a monarchy, and the monarchy are just there to oversee things, aren't they? Whatever. I've yet to see anything poo-pooed by the Queen. In modern day society. because clearly she's just there to actually, she won't disapprove anything. If Boris went to the Queen and said, this is what we're going to do, or he wouldn't use those words, he said, this is what we were intending to do, there's no way that the Queen's going to turn around and say, no, I don't need to do that. I think that's wrong. Because she can't. Because it's a democracy. And the Parliament has decided. Because the people have spoken, Parliament decides, and then they take that to the Queen and say, this is what we're doing. So what right will the Queen have then? Idealistically, what right will the Queen have then as to say, no, I don't agree with that, but we're not a fascistic state. We are a diplomacy. We are a democracy, should I say. Sorry, we're trying to be diplomatic, but yeah, we are a democracy. So everything goes through Parliament. So if it's agreed in Parliament by representations of ourselves, we have MPs who represent us, then the decision's made in Parliament. Parliament passed the Act. So therefore, what is the point then in asking the Queen if that's okay? Because she ain't going to say no, is she?
So Creepy said exactly. Every leader has a government, but they are there to advise, not to order.
Yeah.
The leader, aka the royal family, should have final say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. This is what I'm saying. What is the point? Because they're not going to disagree, are they? If Bojo goes along and says, yeah, we've had a vote in Parliament, the ayes have it, we pushed through this amendment, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then the Queen is not going to say, no, sorry, I don't like that, it's still going to go through, just because the Queen said she didn't want it.
Creep said, what was the Civil War all about? Parliamentary and royalists?
Yeah, exactly. Roundheads and Cavaliers. Back to the days of Oliver Cromwell. A very interesting change, isn't it, in the British history, the Roundheads and Cavaliers, because clearly it was at a time where things were very, very confused, and that's what it was. The Roundheads being the and again. The term Puritan, and Oliver Cromwell, and the way that Catholics were if you want, persecuted at the time in the name of religion, and the word Puritan is because the wonderful things it does. Puritan. Is again, stay with me on this one, Creepy. Yeah, the word Puritan. Yeah, I don't see the word Puritan and the word Catholic. Okay, if someone is a religious Puritan, are they not really a Catholic? Because the laissez-faire within the Church of England. Okay, the Church of England pretty much anything goes. But being a Puritan back then would be the same thing, would it not? Of being following Catholicism, who believed everything had to be done correctly.
So we've got the Wasp who said good afternoon or hope you're both good.
Hi Stingy, how are you?
And Creep said, the Queen isn't allowed to be in the parliamentary building. She owns the building and the land it sits on, so why ain't she allowed to be in it?
Yeah, if I was there, I'd say I'm coming in.
And then
if it was my house, I would say, yeah, okay. If it's my house, I'm coming in. It's like the Queen being the head of the state, also being the head of the Church of England, isn't it? But yeah, that's my point about did you get what I mean on that one, about the idea of Puritans? Now, maybe I'm off the mark here, but it's the choice of words and semantics here, my darling.
The Wasp said, I'm fine.
Good. Hi, thanks for joining. We're just in the middle of a heated debate here about the word Puritan, that I've set this one up now, especially to Creepy. Yeah, a Puritan believes in the pure, the pureness of everything. Okay, and at one side you've got the Puritans, and then the other side you've got the Catholics. Yeah, and if a Puritan, what is the difference between someone who's pure and believes in the pure nature of religion? And it's almost like this all confused about Henry VIII being the head of the church and then setting up the Church of England.
The Wasp said, "Cool, I'm all ears."
Yeah, you will be when you finish this one, mate. It's a very very interesting debate today.
So Creepy said, "I'm going to wait till it comes up."
Yeah, it always gets me, this one.
So Creepy said, well, that's like saying Church of England and Protestant is Catholic, and all Christians they believe in the same thing but worship slightly different.
Yeah, but they're pure, aren't they? And pure of thought. So if somebody's a non-believer, so who would? Yeah, I'll ask you this question. So who would Cromwell hate more, a non-believer or a Catholic? What do you think? If he's a Puritan and believes in, a purity of religion, but who would he appreciate more? A non-believer, an atheist, or a high Catholic that believes in religion? Well, just asking you the question, Creepy. What do you think? Just posing that one. Who would he rather sit with? And share, who would he share a conversation with? Share a mug of tea with? Share a cup of coffee with, and a currant bun.
You really said hi to us.
Hello. Yes, hi each other. Who do you think he'd? If you could bring him back now and he said, "Hi, Mr. Cromwell," who would you like best? An atheist or another Puritan, but happens to be called a Catholic?
Creepy said depends on his beliefs.
Yeah, it does, but we know his beliefs though. If Cromwell, if Cromwell was a Puritan, in the sense of the word Puritan, a religious Puritan, then who would he have more in common with? A devout Catholic who's a Puritan of religion, or an atheist who's nothing to do with being a Puritan and is a non-believer, but would then he side with the non-believer rather than a Catholic and Catholicism? I don't know. What do you think? I'm waiting there, just in anticipation. I mean, maybe I'm just, going on about something now, but, it makes me think, it makes me wonder who, on one side and the other side of the fence. Because on one, and again, it's Henry VIII, isn't it? All over again. Henry VIII, I am. Henry VIII, I am. Henry VIII being, 1 minute head of the church, and then changing it all to the Church of England, and the rest is literally history, isn't it?
So Creepy said, if he believes in Christ, he would prefer the Catholic. If he didn't have a belief in the same as Catholic, he will go for the
atheist
believer. But it's a very good question.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I just I do think these things. I do have these thoughts when I sit down sometimes. These philosophical debates with myself. We were also talking the other day, which we'll be careful on this one. But we were talking about the rise. Sophia and Sophie's doing in history at the moment the rise of the Third Reich, the rise of Hitler. Now again, without getting too controversial, because I'd hate to start a ball rolling on fascism and all that lot. But we're talking about Hitler, and we were talking about again the reason we were talking about that was we were talking about Hitler. And this is why we came to the Republican conversation, because we were saying that, just hear me out on this one. We've got Adolf Hitler, the biggest fascist in the world, the biggest madman, whatever you want to call him, but also the biggest so-called socialist, I'll come back to it. Let me come back to that.
You said, oh dear, haha.
I know. Listen, I was intrigued by this one because I was doing this study because I was working with soaps, and obviously I did a lot in the past on this type of thing. But then again, I've been doing more work on it now and trying to get to grips with it. Now, you have a guy called Adolf Hitler, who's all for the people of Germany, and in all intents and purposes is against at the time Marxists and communists, whatever you want to call them. So sets up to be the people's champion. Germany first, all about Germany, He's a champion of Germany and believes in the the fatherland and all for Germany. Now, he's also a socialist. Yeah, he's also a socialist. And he's an extreme socialist. And he believes in the power for the people and the power of Germany. So, he's on one side, but then the fascists are almost like the right-wing organisation. So on one hand you have Adolf Hitler, so-called the biggest Third Reich fascist, right-winger, and on the other side you've got him being a socialist. One side, the other side. How does that work?
Creepy said he was also a cultist.
Oh, I know. I'll not get involved. I'm trying to be very tongue-in-cheeky, but do you get what I'm driving at? You've got this guy, Adolf Hitler, what do you call him, who's a very, very big patriot. Let's call him a patriot. And also he's a socialist. Probably, it's a socialist party, probably in a different way that we know the word socialist, but nevertheless, still for the socialist workers, And yet, he doesn't like the communists, So, on one hand, you've got the Nazi party, and on the other hand, now you've got the full socialists, which are also called Bolsheviks, Mensheviks, whatever you want to call them. He calls them, Marxists. I don't, I lost the thread somewhere.
He said he believed the craft would help him win the war, so he was doing so-called devil worshipping
Oh, yeah.
power, and also talking the wonders of the world to try and use the high power to win.
Yeah, and I get that because obviously I do get I get that. But what I suppose I'm driving at is we've got a guy here that believes for the power of Germany, and yet then persecutes everybody else. And then, the reason I say this, and please, sort of like, just lead me on, work with me on this one, my darling.
So we've got Ice Wallow hang on.
Hi.
So Creepy said, well, Churchill didn't like the communists either.
No, he didn't.
So we've got Ice Wallow who says, watching from Toronto, Canada, love the lights from Ice Wallow
Oh, hi, how are you?
Hello, thank you for joining us.
How are
Please
you
don't
today?
forget to give us a thumbs up.
So what we were just saying was what I was trying to get at was we've got Hitler on one side being ending up with the persecution of the Jews, okay? And so what I'm driving at here is you've got a guy that's deemed a fascist because he wants to kill all the Jews, okay? And when he kills all the Jews, modern day fascism is all about persecution. Yeah? And at some point, it's got lost because the socialist has become a fascist, and then the fascist becomes, in today's society, something different. So yeah, it was just something when we were talking about it the other day. And we're talking about the rise of Adolf Hitler, and it just made me think. It just made me think of how the word socialist can be interpreted so many different ways. To be a man of the people, to put the people first, but also then you've got Hitler wanting a nationalist and a socialist in one, and a nationalist on one side doesn't sit with a socialist on the other. Yeah, here's this guy, Adolf Hitler, claiming to be both. And obviously cultist, getting his support from, as you rightly say, from the occult and from people that the pagan worshipping, etc., etc. So yeah, just mentioning it. It's not nothing at all to do with the main chat of today. But hey, it is what it is, and just when we were talking about, and the reason I suppose it sprung to mind then on a light-hearted note was remembering. Do you remember way back, many centuries ago, when Harry turned up at the party as a Nazi soldier? Do you remember that, Creepy? And all the fuss that caused years and years ago. Well, probably you were in the UK then, and you'd remember that. A long time ago, and that's what put me on the thread then, talking about Adolf Hitler and the fascists. And then people were all, how quick people were to say then, he's a fascist, he's dressed as Adolf Hitler, he marries a black woman, and he has a mixed-race child, he's a person of the public, people's prince, and he's a so-called racist. Biggest racist of them all, apparently, Prince Harry, not. Because he turned up for to the party dressed as a Nazi officer.
Creepy said yes, it was mental.
I know, mental as anything. I've just had these visions again of Prince Harry, in the Nazi uniform, and the hullabaloo that followed when Prince Harry was obviously the biggest fascist in the world, as we're seeing now. Obviously, married a black woman, obviously got a mixed race child, and yet he's the biggest fascist in the world. And his mother has got to be the least fascistic person also.
Creepy said, I have a statement regarding Hitler about communist and Jews.
He has a what, my darling?
He has a statement
regarding
Hitler.
He's going to share it with us now. Cool. Yeah, cool. Again, it was very, while you're chatting there, it's a different Russification, wasn't it? It was known as Russification, the persecution of the Jews by Rasputin's mob. And Alexander, wasn't it? And the Tsar of Russia, Russification. Wasn't that when the Jews were all put in pogroms, they called it, didn't they? And the Jews were, first of all, marginalised in the Soviet Union, in Russia, by Rasputin. and then the Russification, and then we had Stalin, and then we have Hitler doing the same thing, and he's totally against what communism and the Russian true meaning was all about. Come back to that one, mate, after you've just obviously put us with this one, and try and fathom that one out. As you were saying, what I was saying was, if you get a chance to follow this or come back to this one, we have Russification back in Alexander and Nicholas, a persecution of the Jews in Russia and putting them in pogroms, sorry. And then you have on the other side, you have Adolf Hitler, persecution of Jews. One would be known as a fascist, one would be known as a Marxist, or I don't know what you want to call it, but probably a red. Well, one's a red and one ain't.
So Creepy said during World War One, Hitler was a soldier in the German army.
Yeah.
At the end of war, he and many other German soldiers like him could not get over the defeat of German Empire. The German army commanded. That's
it. Exactly, and that's where obviously Hitler's power came from, because disgruntled Germany, and then hence the Wall Street crash and what was it, Arbeitsunbrot at that time, and it was all that era where Hitler took power because people believed that he was a good ruler, and obviously he was actually in prison, wasn't he, for a short while, but it should have been for 6 years. But because he was a favourite of the people, and people actually trusted him, he only served a few months, didn't he? 2 months of a 5-year sentence, which spoke volumes. For even the establishment wanted Adolf Hitler to be prime minister, to be, sorry, whatever you want to call it, Führer, leader, Kaiser, whatever, not Kaiser, but Führer, because obviously when he was imprisoned, or given the sentence of 5 years in jail, the drinking house troopers came in there and did all sorts of mayhem, and he was given 5 years in jail, a sentence of 5 years, but then only served a month or 2 months, I think it was, because even the hierarchy, even the judges, even even society believed he was going to be the saviour back then. People were voting for this guy. And again, he was a good speaker, wasn't he? And said what people wanted to hear. Appealed to, I think people say in Germany, didn't they, that he appealed to the middle classes and to the working classes in Germany, because he appealed to the working classes, having not anything at all, no Arbeit and no Brot. And the middle classes saw Hitler as being authoritarian that would stop people looting their shops.
He said communists have betrayed the country and brought a left-wing government to power that had wanted to throw in the towel.
They wanted to...
That had wanted to throw in the towel.
Yeah, and in Germany...
Communists have betrayed the country and brought a left-wing government to power that had wanted to throw in the towel. Yeah,
and of course you've got the left-wing proletariat, and then you've got the right-wing coming along with Adolf Hitler. But yeah, I just find that last little statement that we've just been talking about there very, very strange, very, very controversial. And again, just thinking back to Prince Harry and how he turned up at the party. Will always find me in the kitchen at the party. In his Nazi uniform. Clearly, Harry was a Nazi, not. Clearly, Harry's mum was a Nazi, not. And clearly the guy was so much of a Nazi that he was the only, apart from his mother, was the only person to, unless you consider Prince Philip to be an ethnic minority, as a Greek background, the only person then that was to try and bring in ethnicity to the royal family, which his mother had tried to do before, and then Harry comes along and brings mixed race into the royal family, which is obviously by certain people is going to be frowned upon, as opening our conversation today, and be questioned.
So Creep said, by blaming the Jews for the defeat, Hitler created a stereotypical enemy in the 1920s and early 1930s. The defeated country was still in a major economic crisis, according to the Nazis expelling the... I'm waiting for the next part.
Expelling, Obviously they had a scapegoat, weren't they? The Jews are the scapegoat. But again, it just it makes me the Jews. Again, it's a funny thing, isn't it? It's an interesting topic. It's a personification of what we're talking about now, and the Jews being villainized early back in the from the Franco-Prussian War, and then before that with Prussia, and then with Russia actually calling them out and saying they were the problems in Russia. So Russification. And Russification became known as persecution of Jews, and these programs that were there to sort that out. And then later comes Adolf Hitler and does the same thing, who's totally against the regime that was the communist regime.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the little bit of history of why Hitler hated Jews and communist people. So he was crazy in the head before he became in power.
Yeah, it was already there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But did you get? Thank you for sharing that, Creepy. But I was just trying to do you get what my point there? You've got the Jews being persecuted by Russia years before, and the Russification. And they're a socialist, red-wing, left-wing organisation. Yet the same things happened by Hitler, who's right-wing, on the same type of people. One claiming to be a friend of them, and one clearly hating them.
Creepy said it's cool and yes, mate.
Isn't it bonkers, though? Isn't it? It's flipping cruel, and it's bonkers. Yeah, no, it's no, yeah, sorry, cool and cruel at the same time. But I don't, my mind just won't follow that train of thought. I can't understand how one set of people who are supposed to be all for togetherness, a left-wing approach, would then persecute a group of people in society that were poor at the time, and they would persecute them that much that they would enslave them, bully them, kill them, torture them, and yet claim to be for the people, i.e. communists. And yet Hitler did the same thing, but at least didn't hide behind a name. He said, we're fascists, this is what we're going to do. But one's supposed to be a right-wing approach who does the same thing, as a left-wing approach who does exactly the same thing and tortures and persecutes a group of poor people.
Creepy said, yes, yeah, mate, it was mental.
Bonkeroonies, mental as anything. Anyway, I think we'll come back to planet Earth again now. But yeah, it's great that you're with us today, Creepy, because I'm sure we've just seen there's quite a lot of people actually in the chat that aren't actually commenting, and that's fine. And if you have been commenting today and you have been in the chat and you've not had a chance to comment, then obviously you've been welcome, very, very welcome. And always, it might be nice, interesting to watch this one back to see where we came from. So thanks, Creepy. You won't have to get yourself off to bed soon, mate. What time is it? Coming up to midnight, is it now in where you are nearly?
So Creepy said the question is though, if the myth never got brought up about it having something to do with losing in World War One, would Hitler still hate them? And would World War Two ever happened, or would it have still?
I don't know.
And they started due to power and expanded his empire they lost from World War One. And Wasp Live says still here.
Still here, hi. Enjoying the conversation, although it's quite deep today.
Well, it's another account, because the other one's the Wasp. So
it's another Wasp account, is it? Oh. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? And it also makes me actually beg the question, would things have been different if the generals in Germany hadn't thrown in the towel and in the First World War? Because as I understand it, yeah, there were heavy losses, but there were also some heavy gains in the Germans in the First World War.
Wasp Live said I had to change more.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah. So as I understand it, the German army, the German soldiers, were quite happy to fight on. Now, whether or not they would have then done better, or whether they'd just been annihilated, I don't know. But they never given that opportunity, were they? And hence then their hatred for the Treaty of Versailles. But as they felt, sold out by their generals and sold out by the institution at the time. Hence the rise of Adolf Hitler. Hence what I said earlier. Hence the again we came back to this. The same thing happened when with Syria. You know, the same things what happened with the rise of the Nazis there. Would the Nazis have come to power had that not happened? Would the same thing to me? I still believe that had we intervened when Assad was persecuting Arabs in Syria, then I don't think ISIS would have been born.
So Creepy said, so you see, whether Hitler believed that he was betrayed by Jewish communists or people of Germany, it wouldn't have mattered because he was annoyed that Germany lost the empire they had in World War One.
Yeah.
They put all World War Two would have still happened, regardless how you look at it, you see.
Yeah, it would have happened. Yeah, it would have happened. But again, I do think that had things been different, because as I've always said, I will stick by this. I do think that obviously we've had this conversation because the terminology about how it evolved. But ISIS became ISIS simply because it was created because of our inaction with the persecution back in Syria. Without going back into it again, we know that that was the case, and rightly or wrongly. ISIS then, took over from Al Qaeda and became the head of the snake for a moral obligation to its own people to support its brother Muslims, I suppose.
But you said, and ISIS, yes, it would have still happened again because ISIS is formed from another terror group.
Yes.
And they have always been terror groups.
Yeah, always. And again, we come to the idea, don't we? We've come full circle again from the idea of freedom fighters. Difference between a freedom fighter and a terrorist, and whether there's a kinship between them, or whether one sits one side, one sits the other, or whether it's just the act of violence that terrorists will use terror as an approach. And the idea that people are patriots and patriotism and terrorism. Anyway, well, that's another one for another day, I think, mate. Another one to come back to. Always interesting to share this, but it is just a thought of mine that I do think that anybody who will always, if their own are in trouble, then they will defend their own, and they will then stick together. People will stick together, and if that means through religion, if that means through tribal, whatever it is, if your crew, your team, your religion, your people are suffering, then the bigger number will come to support them.
Creepy said, so as you see, even if you take out one, it doesn't matter. Same with world wars. Rank out one of the reasons he started World War II, it still would have happened.
Yeah. It would have happened, but right at the very beginning, when the Franco-Prussian War, right before all that, things may have been different. I don't know, but I think I agree with you. I think it probably would have continued anyway, or whatever. But how did we get there? We know through this conversation we got from the monarchy, we got to talking about Prince Harry. We got to talking about fascism. We got to talking about the Nazis. We talked about quite a few things today, haven't we? So it's been quite an interesting debate. Again, opening it up, and it's been good.
Creepy said, I believe things happen for a reason, regardless of what you do to try and prevent it. You might think you're preventing the case, but there will always be something else that starts it.
Yeah, I think you've got to use one name, haven't you? Nostradamus as well. Nostradamus had a lot to say about Adolf Hitler, didn't he? Nostradamus had a lot to say about... I still have a lot of time for Nostradamus. Still have a lot of time for what Nostradamus said. And still today, I still feel that we're still in the prophecies that Nostradamus made. I don't know, some people say you can always make things fit if you want to, and yes, I agree with that. But I do think that a lot of things that Nostradamus predicted, some people say, do we make them fit? But yeah, I think some very intellectual prophecies were prophesized back with Nostradamus. Very, very interesting. And Hitler was one of them, wasn't he? Hitler was definitely one of the prophecies made by Nostradamus. Yet to see, I'm still trying to work out where Nostradamus sat with COVID-19. But yeah, maybe there's a Buddha enlightenment moment there. I'm hoping that's going to come to me very, very soon. But yeah, hey, we have to...
Yes, he was.
Just a little bit. We have to go now. And of course, you have to go now, Creepy. And everybody else that's watching, whether you're watching Sophia's friends that are watching in the wings, you've been welcome today. I hope you have a great day tomorrow at school. And also, thanks for joining us today. Creepy, thank you. Wasp friend, and lots of friends that we can see. Nearly 1,000 people that have been in the wings there, which has been great. A few people that have been joining us actually in the conversation. So thank you for taking part in the conversation. Always great, thank you.
So Vega really said, I'll be live in 2 hours.
He does what?
I'll be live in 2 hours.
Oh, you are?
Vega
Cool, yeah.
really
Well, I think you'll probably bob in and say, have a look and grab
Vega
that one.
really said later, everyone. And
Cool.
Creep said, I'm going back to job hunting now, lol. No problem, always a pleasure, my friends.
Oh, no
Thank you
problem.
so
Yeah,
much
thank you for joining us. No problem. And obviously,
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Please don't forget to put the notification bell on if you have joined in the background and you have got an account. Thank you for joining us. If you have joined in the chat, thank you so much, and we hope to see you all next time.
yeah,
Stay
just
safe.
to reiterate what my beautiful daughter was just saying there. We talked earlier about all sorts today, but again, the message that we send all the time here at Elysium Sophia is you being the best version of you that you can possibly be, being true to yourself, because you have to be true to yourself. You have to be the person that you want to be. You don't suffer fools gladly, but at the same time, you know, a bit of empathy goes a long, long way. We are what we are. We are what we choose to be, and we all evolve. We all move through life, we all make decisions. Sometimes they're good ones, sometimes they're bad ones. But it's not necessarily good or bad, it's just appropriate at that moment. It doesn't mean that it can't be eradicated or erased. It just means that at that moment in time, that mindfulness approach has happened, and that's good. Because by living the here and now and trying not to worry about the past and trying not to worry about what's happening in the future, then we're being mindful, we're being more relaxed. And we're being more true to ourselves. So if you can, try and be more empathetic if you can. Try and put yourself in the footsteps of other people and in the shoes of other people. And try and be nice to people on the way up. Because you never ever know who you're going to meet on the way down again. And karma has a way of telling us this. Working with karma. So whether you're from the Philippines, whether you're from Asia, whether you're from Thailand, whether you're from the United States, whether you're from here in the UK or Europe or wherever you joined us from today, as Sophia said, you've been very, very welcome. Our friends from the UK, from all across the world, join us again next time. Stay safe, and as always, a massive, massive namaste.